Good morning, going on daily.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, exciting day today. We have season 2, episode 185. It's hammer time.
It's hammer
Hammer.
time, baby.
Yeah,
Hammer.
of
Drop the hammer.
course. Yeah.
Put that
Super
hammer down.
super exciting. Lots of excellent topics that'll get everybody all fired up for their Tuesday morning. I have to think about what day it is, really. I'm like, what day? What do we have going on? But yeah, so we'll jump right on in. World renowned coaches.
Okay,
That
well, yeah, I did some coaching training because I'm always upgrading my skills and
yeah.
things like that. So I did some coaching training on the weekend, and I'll be honest, I was shocked,
Mm.
disappointed, and a little disgusted, to be
Oh.
to be perfectly honest.
Oh.
Um, so what happened is they used a lot of neurolinguistic programming, right? Which
Hmm.
is which
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
That's what they do. But it was while mixing in with a blatant display of excess wealth, like
Hmm.
private yachts, private jets, private, like, this is the dream life you can have. And in my inner circle, we take them on these retreats, we take them on these trips, but the inner circle costs $1 million. So yeah, he can take you away for a weekend. Like, seriously. So, and you know, the problem is when they use neurolinguistic programming,
Hmm.
they're really powerful because they bypass
Yeah.
resistance and they speak directly to your subconscious. And it's easy to imagine a new reality when you're around someone who is a master in NLP. And this person was. And I'm really glad that I was aware of what was happening because so many people were not.
Hmm.
So many people were not.
Yep.
So they started out with the Milton model, the regular NLP, you
Hmm.
know, and you may be already beginning to notice that you want to invest in yourself and you want to invest in your future, and
Hmm.
because their investment was $30,000. This is the next level,
Oh.
and
Hmm.
that's not chump change. That's
Hmm.
that's a major investment.
It was
So
for the coach certification that I went through. It was $21,000. I made it over payments, but yeah, 21,000 to, plus all of the other different ones that I've paid a little bit for.
so have I. I have paid, and I paid to get into this one,
Yeah.
but I am so disappointed with this one because there was actually no real information. So it was 9 hours a night
Mm.
because it was out of Australia. So
Mhm.
it was overnight. So it was 9 hours.
Yep.
And they gave you one 12-minute break. And
Mm.
but they didn't provide any real information.
That's I have experienced a lot of, because I've been, I think it's been 20 years now. I have to look and see, but I've been studying personal development for 20 years,
Mhm.
um and I have taken so many courses and programs and sales and marketing and coaching and everything. And the biggest, probably the biggest thing between that and the amount of personal development that I've listened to, because that's like 30,000 hours of audiobooks and podcasts,
Mhm.
probably more, and then plus YouTube and everything else. But the biggest thing that I've gained from that, I think, I mean, I've gained a bunch of things, but
Right.
one of the biggest things is the BS detector, and
Oh,
being able
oh my God.
to, yeah,
It's
being
crazy.
able to spot the trends and patterns, because I don't listen to most things. I don't listen to now for specific details. I listen to the trends and the patterns in everything, and that has been so incredibly helpful with many things in my life.
Well, and with neurolinguistic programming, you can use it for good. You can use it to help
Mhm.
people, to get
Yeah.
them to the next
Yeah.
level, to speak to their subconscious mind so they let go of limiting beliefs, or at least relax them so that they're open to letting them. or you can use it as in a negative connotation and persuade people to do what you want them to do. And that's what it was. The first night, 4.5 hours in, they still hadn't talked anything about coaching. It was
Mhm.
life I lead. Look what I do. Look at my inner circle and what they do.
Yep.
And 4.5 hours of nothing.
Yep.
And we had 1 hour of, over the course of 9 hours, we had 1 hour of like actual information. And it really wasn't anything informational. It was an overview of what we had learned in the first free class that we took. So
Mhm.
that's all he did the first night.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of programming, So, a lot of embedded commands and sleight of mouth, a lot of
Mhm.
sleight of mouth. And by the time the third night came, future pacing 100%.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then what I don't understand is, like, I grew up singing in a church choir, going to
Mhm.
church,
Mhm.
and now I'm in the spiritual realm. So, but
Mhm.
I don't say that there's not a God, because who knows? We don't know. We really don't know. Is it Buddha?
Mhm.
Is it God? Is it the universe? Is it whoever it is? We don't know, or whatever it is. We have no idea. It's a force bigger than ourselves.
Mhm.
But um, the people started preaching and saying prayer. Is it Ron?
Is it Ron?
I think it might be
It
Ron.
could be Ron.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Ron had a devil on his shoulder this morning, so I'm really not sure if
Mm.
it's Ron.
Yep. That's brutal. Yeah, I have I've taken a lot of different coaching training and courses and things, and I have had one. I can name one experience, and I continue to have the same experience with this lady, and I will. Um, so her name is Lindsay Dotzlov,
Okay.
and her program. I don't know if she's changing anything now or whatever, but it's been mastering coaching skills,
Okay.
and she is so good. It is just, I mean, by far been the absolute best that I have experienced. And she'll run free, like a coach week workshop basically,
Oh,
and
okay.
she'll come on um, and it is so much value. I mean, and she does a
Fantastic.
little, yeah, a little bit of sales, in that, but there, I mean, it is like 90, 95, 99%, depending on the call, value, and then there's a little bit of sales, and it has
Well,
been,
they have to do some sales. They have to do self-promotion. I
yeah.
mean, that's why they're there, and that's fine. You always expect that,
Mhm.
but not to the degree. And Ron says the problem is, once they get famous, they're like another salesman. They just try and sell you more and you get less. Well,
Mhm.
in that vein, Ron, this was incredible to me. I could not believe. So day 2, he's now starting to talk about all these famous people he knows and
Mhm.
all these famous people that have promoted him. And so we sit and watch literally 4 hours of people just promoting him,
Mhm.
interjected with him giving away all these awards with, you've reached $100,000, you've reached 200,000, all of these milestones. And good on them, good on them. But
Sounds a lot like network marketing.
oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. But so at the very last night, there's a world renowned coach. Like, everybody knows this gentleman. And
Mhm.
there was a bunch of top coaches in the world, very successful,
Mhm.
mostly men.
Mhm.
And they're sitting around a table having dinner. And one of the coaches says to the gentleman who's teaching us, says, if do you have $10? And he says, yeah, because he's new to this circle. Like, keep in mind, he's new to this circle. So he says, do you have $10? And the coach says, yes. And he says, well, give it to me and I'll give you 100. And so the coach says, what? And he says, yeah, just give me 10 and I'll give you 100. And then he says, do you have $100? And the coach says, well, yeah. And he says, would it be a good deal if you gave me the 100 and I gave you 1,000? Would that be a good deal?
Mhm.
Yeah. So they exchange the
Mhm.
money. Then it, if would it be a good deal to you? Would you find value in this if you gave me 1,000 and I gave you 100,000?
Mhm.
So then the exchange happens. would it be a good value to you if you gave me 100,000 and I gave you 1,000,000? And he's sitting there because he's new to this circle. He's
Hmm.
sitting there looking around like, what's going on? Because this is all on video.
Yeah.
And then the world renowned coach says, that's what you're selling. You're selling the possibility of more. You're not actually giving any tangible anything. You're selling the possibility of more. I'm
Hmm.
looking around at, because we're on a Zoom, I'm looking around and everybody's just like cheering and clapping. He just told you that you guys are idiots and he's actually giving you nothing. He's giving you the possibility of more and you're spending $30,000 to get it. I was like, what in the fuck is going on right now? What is happening in this room?
Hmm.
And then people, the religion came out and God wants you to do this. And you're going to, God will lead you if you do this. He's a man of like this. The coach is a God-fearing man and blah, blah, blah. And religion went on for about 4 hours. We prayed the whole nine. And I have no problem with religion. Like I said, I sang in a
Hmm.
church choir growing up. But in a coaching training,
Yeah.
that's not where you're having a sermon. Like, but
There's
it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I laughed so hard. So it's like, what is going on here? This is really weird. It was cultish, actually. It was
so
strange.
I don't want to take any pot shots, but I do have the experience. I spent 9 years doing network marketing, and I loved, oh my gosh, a good friend of mine, we talk about, if we could have the events that they have, without all the network marketing part, I would, and no hate on,
No.
but I realize, the trends and the patterns in all of this. And
Mhm.
I think that what a lot of the coaching and a lot of other people that are in, services of whatever kind that help people, a lot of them focus on, and I hear them talk a lot about, I can't scale myself, I can't scale my time, and so I have to figure out how to set up different programs and all kinds of things in order to be able to sell more, to sell people into these different programs and whatever else.
Yeah.
And um, and I can see that, but I think a lot of times what happens is, it's done at the expense of the care for people, and
Like,
that's I have, so I have a doctor that I go to, a homeopath, and
mhm,
and he's talked a lot about this, and he's a traditional homeopath,
mhm.
and we've had lots of conversation about, really doing ministry, which I know, some people might be upset about, you know
No,
that
no,
that being
not at all.
said,
There's a
but
time and a place.
well,
That's
and
my point.
what he talks about, though, is what traditional ministry is ministering to the people,
Mhm.
which is not, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with religion, or spirituality, or any of those things, but really it's ministering to the people. And I think there's a disconnect, which I think we could easily connect between, like, the coaching and therapy and all of the services, programs,
Modalities.
all of
Mhm.
those, yeah, things that help people. But there is a disconnect because, however many people get into it to help people, and then they see all of the money, or the supposed or potential, or whatever you want to call it, because it's actually harder to really give good value to people. And because the people that are really good at selling end up selling a lot of coaching, and the people
Yes,
that are really good at coaching have much more trouble selling coaching.
exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah, so but I think
But he
that.
he even went so far as to say, I was talking to one of my students and they said, I just put $100,000 down, made a down payment on the house because I'm making all this money and I'm going to buy a home. And he said, don't do that. Do not buy a home. That's the dumbest thing you can ever do. You give me the $100,000 and reinvest in yourself. That's what he said to them.
Mhm.
I'm looking around the room and people are like, praise the Lord, praise Jesus, give him the 100,000. Like, what is going on
I
here?
think
Where? What did I just stumble into? What the heck?
So I think, and this is one of my favorite lines, but there is probably truth in that statement, but it does not mean that that is the truth. And there is a very distinct, it's subtle, it's a subtle difference, but there is a very distinct difference between there being truth in something and it being the truth.
Well, the other point too is he's her mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the fact that he would say, "Give me that money and
Mm-hmm.
reinvest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy a home."
Mm-hmm.
It's different than him saying, "You know what? I don't think owning home ownership is a good investment, and here's why," and
Mm-hmm.
explaining it to her, and then letting her make that determination on her own,
Yeah.
as opposed to, "No, no, no, just give it to me." No, that is that was just unreal. And I
Yeah.
have three more nights of training with this person. And I'm like, holy God, I don't know.
Mm.
It's crazy, but I paid for it, so I'm going to take it.
Well, and that's I've been, because I've been in programs that were heavily focused on sales
Mm-hmm.
and how you get all the sales and all the things, and I've learned a lot from them. In some ways, I've learned a lot about what not to do and what I
Yes.
don't like and what feels icky and awful.
Slimy.
Yeah.
It felt
Yeah.
very slimy because he is manipulating these people
Mhm.
using neurolinguistic programming. He's manipulating them into spending
There's
$30,000, and he's telling them, "Well, everybody has $30,000, like everybody." And I'm thinking, "No, not everybody does. Not everybody does. That's a large amount of money." "Well, then you borrow it from family and friends." "No, you don't. You go get a bank loan." "What? Like you're what?" And these people are like, "Not a problem. I'm gonna come and
yeah.
if you do the payment plan, it costs you an extra 10G. So it ends up being
Mhm.
$40,000. Now
Mhm.
in Canadian, $30,000 is actually 45,000 US.
Mhm.
Or no, 30,000 US is 45,000 Canadian. Sorry, pardon
Oh,
me.
yeah.
It's one and a half, 1.5.
Which
And
you definitely want to get paid in US dollars
oh,
for sure.
absolutely. 100% I do. But and that's, yeah, Ron says there's a point when it crosses the line from helping people to helping themselves, and that
Mhm.
line was crossed. It was
Mhm.
blatant. It wasn't, they weren't even trying to disguise it.
Yeah.
It was just that video alone with all you're doing is giving them the promise of hope. That's it.
Mhm.
The
Well, and I
promise
think,
of potential. You're not actually
yeah.
giving them, you're not actually selling them anything.
Mhm. And
Who
I think
plays that for a bunch of people? I just don't even.
this is where they talk about the starving artist, which also in a lot of ways the starving coach, the starving therapist,
Mhm.
and because a lot of those people are in it for the ministry, which is the care of the people,
Yes.
and they are not as good at sales as, yeah. So
Mhm.
it's a
It's a
hard,
slippery slope, but anyways,
yeah, hard deal. But
yeah.
anyway, so
Mhm.
yes,
Turn it
hammer
on.
time. It is
Hang
hammer
on.
time. And so the other thing that we absolutely have to hammer is the follow. The follow. You got to hammer the follow on
Absolutely.
all the
Following.
things.
Mhm.
So you are watching us live right now on Kick and YouTube and Rumble and
Twitch.
Twitch. Yep. And that's at Rhode Island Broadcasting, and then Twitch is at RI_broadcasting, and then you can watch after the fact, or listen. Sorry,
Or listen. Yep.
listen after the
Yep.
fact. Audio podcasts on Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio at RI Broadcasting. And I mean, come follow us everywhere, all of the places,
All the places.
and then all the social media that you can imagine, and all the ones that you don't know too, probably,
Exactly
because
all the
we're,
places you've never heard of. We're
yeah,
there.
we're all the places. YouTube, U42, MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Parlor, Gab,
Space
um,
Hay.
Space Hay, yeah,
That's my favorite.
Space Hay, yeah, at
Never even
RI
seen it. Just
Broadcasting.
like the name.
And then the terrible rebrand from Twitter to X at Broadcasting RI. Sorry, throw you guys under the bus, but and then also for anybody on Noster, you can also, and I should know which one that is, but Ron set up an account on Noster, so you can come follow us on Noster for anybody.
What is Noster?
Yeah, I know, it's exciting.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But Noster is another social media, but then
Wow.
the one of the most important, the Facebook page at Going On Daily Morning Show, and come follow us there. We're working on regaining, regrowing, restarting, so that we can be live on there all the time as well. And RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. You can go and check everything out there. You can vote now.
Yeah, this is exciting, people. This is exciting.
Yeah. So vote for the Hall of Fame: Grease, Jaws, Rocky, Saturday Night Fever, The Godfather. I mean, who's the choice?
Yeah. What's your favorite movie out of that? Maybe The Godfather, because that was iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, super exciting either way. I'm sure there's going to be lots of really excited and also upset people with all of the results of the. You can all come to the comments on all the social media and fight amongst yourselves, and that'll be super exciting.
Well, go to RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net and vote now. Vote now for your favorite movie between Grease, Jaws, Rocky, Saturday Night Fever, and The Godfather. Come on, Godfather.
Yep. And then the coffee mug right there. She's got the coffee mug.
Going on daily. Makes coffee taste better.
And go grab that coffee mug so that you have the you're styling there. Christy says, I just about missed you two. Go back to sleep. Good morning. Good morning.
Glad you joined us, Christy. Good morning.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. Super exciting. You missed all the coaching stuff, but onwards
and upwards
we go. Yeah. So that's good. To forgive or not to forgive?
What is up with that, Kyle?
That is the question. To forgive or not to forgive? So I as whoever many people hopefully probably know, I talk about narcissists and toxic people a lot, and there's always the people out there that and no shame, not throwing shade on them, but we have to forgive. We have to forgive in order to move forward with our life.
Yes.
And there is definitely I'm gonna hold the grudge forever. Yeah. So I do not believe that you need to forgive anyone at all whatsoever other than yourself.
Okay.
That's yourself is the most important person for you to forgive.
Correct.
And so it's nice, with however many of the other people in our lives, and it's great. But I do not believe at all whatsoever that it is a requirement for you to forgive those people, until you get to that point. But it is a requirement for you to move forward in your life in forgiving yourself.
That's interesting, Kyle. Why do you feel that you don't need to forgive other people?
So most of what, when we look at the emotions, the reactions, all of the things, most of those are a reflection of something inside of ourselves. And so a lot of people focus on the forgiving of other people. But the hard part is, if you have not forgiven yourself, if you have not given yourself that, then it's very hard to give that to someone else. Just like with loving ourselves, with showing up, with being available for ourselves.
Right.
It is very hard for us to be available to someone else for what we have not done for ourselves. That's I don't remember the exact quote, but you can only meet another person at the level that you have met yourself.
Right.
And And so yeah, I mean, forgiveness is essential. It's important. It's, something that we all need for sure. But the reality is that most people, I'm going to say most, they focus on forgiving the other people when they have not forgiven themselves. And and so if it's a trend in people to do awful things, they're not getting my forgiveness. Well, and that's one of the big parts of it, especially talking about toxic people.
Yeah.
They continue to do those things to people, and whether or not they're still continuing to do it to us, or they're continuing to do it to other people. And I think it's it's a very tall order. It's not easy at all to forgive those people for something that they continue to do, whether to us or to someone else, especially, when they're causing major harm in people's lives. So yeah, for me, it's hard to forgive others when they're still hurting others, but it's about me now. Yeah. Yeah. They're just exiled from my life. Yeah.
I agree, Ron. Yeah, if someone is really toxic and hurting others and doing that, um, I just distance myself because I
Yeah.
don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be around it. I don't need that
Yep.
energy, that negative energy. I like to be high vibe and I like to be happy and
Yeah.
surround myself with happy people who are making strides and moving forward in life
Yep.
and trying and being in service to others.
Yeah.
That's yeah. How
Yeah.
are we changing people's lives today? That's a question I ask myself almost daily.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's because when I think about forgiving someone else, especially those toxic people,
Mhm.
I think that it's very hard to just outright forgive them. I think it's a process, and so where we probably get to before the forgiveness, especially when they're continuing to do awful things, is
Mhm.
we get to indifference first.
Yes.
and and it's really hard to get to there if we have not forgiven ourselves. And this, I need to mention also that this does not mean that you deserved what you went through. That it doesn't mean that you asked for it. It doesn't mean that that should have happened. It doesn't mean any of those things. What often happens in a lot of these relationships. So Ron says, this is part of the reason why I started this show, is to bring positive things to people's days. Yeah.
Love that. I love that, Ron.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of Holy Shift Balls.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Spread
I love
happiness.
it. But yeah, it's, I think um, that there are a lot of things that we do in survival
Oh,
that,
yes, without even realizing it.
yeah, without realizing it in
Mhm.
those relationships. And so it's very hard to not spot all of those things and realize and become aware. And those are all the things that we forgive ourselves for. So, and it still, once again, it does not mean that we deserved any of the things that we went through, that they did to us, or any of that. But but forgiving ourselves for our reactions, for, for not standing up, for not, I mean, just all of the different things that you can point at, that we did in order to survive in those relationships. And that's where, the forgiveness of ourselves. And then if you get to it, when you get to it at some point, then okay, you can forgive them.
Well, but harboring a grudge against someone or being angry and resentful is not healthy. It's just not. It's not healthy for you. And
I
I'm not saying like blanket forgiveness where it's fine. Who cares? Like learn your lesson. Be wise. Be wary. You know, be
I
aware.
I agree with you,
Um,
but if you're harboring a grudge against
yeah.
someone else,
Yeah.
that's a reflection of something going on inside of you,
Okay.
which does
Yes.
not require your forgiveness of them in order for you to move on.
Okay. Good point. Now I've got a mitt and I'm in the game. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, and it's just a lot of stuff that people don't really talk all the way through, because when you really look at all of the, the grudge, the hatred, the anger, all of those things that we have with those other people, that's all based in us. Our relationships, one of the most important things that I remember, our relationships with someone else is really largely based on our thoughts and our emotions about that person, which
Perception is projection.
which we can change. We can't change whatever it is that they do, but we can change how we feel about them.
Yes.
And so that's where I say the forgiveness is all you. It's all you forgiving you. And then if you ever get to the point where you want to forgive them, then, that's great. Yeah. Joan Jett, I hate myself for loving you.
I spent 27 years doing that, Ron, hating myself for loving someone.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was wrong.
See, and that right there, that forgiveness of yourself is essential. And then you can let go. You can get to indifference, and then if you decide you want to forgive them, but if we're holding a grudge that is inside of us, that's not necessarily forgiving them.
Yes.
So
I hated him and love vodka and beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
Survival. I mean, it's
holy hell.
Coping. Yeah. Coping.
Self-medicating to a new level.
Yeah. So Christy says, when you go through narcissistic abuse, it's a total different playing field. There's no resentment, grudge. It's just focusing on yourself. I have empathy for those people. However, I have trauma and don't treat people like a pile of shiitake. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, focus on forgiving yourself.
Good job, Christy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you get there, when you get there, let it go.
Absolutely.
Let it go. Let them go. And let go and forgive yourself. And I also should mention that this is a game of allowing. We allow ourselves to forgive ourselves. We allow ourselves to love ourselves. It's not something you cannot pick up the stick and beat yourself into submission, into loving yourself or forgiving yourself. No. So put the stick down. Put the stick down. It is allowing all of those things to happen. So yeah, pretty exciting. And I know, and everyone can do it. Everyone can do it.
Absolutely.
For everyone.
And it just feels so wonderful once you get to that point. And you realize we can't expect others to be perfect and be wonderful because we have to admit to ourselves that we're not perfect.
Yeah.
So then, therefore, why would we expect others to be?
Well, and that's another forgiveness thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not perfect. Oh, so, okay. Yeah. And it's okay to forgive yourself for not being perfect.
Exactly. And you know what? Our biggest triggers typically are family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's some programming that's hard to overcome. Yeah. I do have a family member who triggers me, and the reaction is immediate. And then but as you're having the reaction, you're thinking, why am I doing this? Like, this is silly. It doesn't matter. This situation really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I was hella triggered about a week ago.
Some people just got a bunch of BS, which leads us to our next
yes. BS. It used to mean bullshit, but now BS has taken on a new meaning. It's called our belief system.
Oh.
Because we create our reality based on our beliefs. I love the picture of the bull there, Ron. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Bullshit-talkie.
Yeah, exactly.
Belief system. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, boy, that's
when
right in alignment.
When we're young, we're in theta from 0 to 7. Like when we're born until about 7 or 8 years old, we're in theta. So we're sponges. We're taking in all the information and loving life, and then the adults in our life might have a bad day, and we might be negative and or they, are frustrated with something, and we spill some milk and they go, "What are you doing?" And, so in that underdeveloped psyche age between 0 and 7, we don't have the discernment to say, okay, this person's having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
We internalize it and think,
Yep.
holy, what is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not lovable. I am bad. I've done something wrong. I am unworthy, unlovable, all of the
Mm-hmm.
things. And
Yep.
so from 0 to 7, we internalize all this stuff and we create all these beliefs. So people talk about manifestation and they say, what
Mm-hmm.
thoughts become things, and that's true to a certain extent. But if everything you thought about became a reality, just imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
there'd be some wild shit happening. There's some thoughts you have that you're like, nope, don't want that to manifest. Or at the time it sounds good, but in reality it really wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that thoughts become things. They do, but it's when thoughts turn into beliefs. When you
Mm-hmm.
when you create a belief system
Mm-hmm.
surrounding your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you manifest them into reality.
Mm-hmm. On the good or the bad.
Exactly, the good or the
Yeah.
bad, right. And
Yeah.
perception is projection is a lot of that because we have beliefs about certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we go to work every day and there's a person in the office who irritates the hell out of us and we're like, "Oh, I don't want to see them, don't want to look at them," and then we smile, they can tell. Like it's an
Mm-hmm.
energetic exchange. Everything is energy. And so when
Mm-hmm.
we're putting out that negative energy, we're getting it back. And
Mm-hmm.
so that just perpetuates that
Mm-hmm.
person's belief of you and your belief of them. But if you
Yep.
change your thought pattern and imagine a different outcome with them, um,
Yeah.
then that changes their interaction with you because you've changed your energy, thereby allowing them to change, inviting them to change theirs, and things become more positive. And I'm not saying it happens overnight. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
that. It's a process. But if you, continue to do that and give them the grace of positive thoughts, like let's take, for example, you get up in the morning and Christy,
So I believe
Christy, bitch
so.
face.
Yeah. So Ron says so. If I believe we have the best morning show, it must be true. And
Well,
that's
if we keep believing it for long enough, it will be true, Ron. This is
yeah.
the thing. I'm
It's
not saying it isn't right now, but
yeah.
keep believing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So imagine in the morning you got up with your kids and your husband or wife or whatever, and you know your spouse is rubbing you the wrong way, and you're kind of frustrated, and the kids spill milk, and you're like, oh God. And so then whatever, they go to school and work,
Mm-hmm.
and then you stop for coffee on your way to work. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, but you've listened to a song on the radio and you're upbeat and happy and life is good. And so the person you're buying your coffee from is cranky. And you think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wow, okay, why are they cranky? Well, you're still carrying residual anger and frustration from your interactions in the morning. Even though you think you're being positive and happy, you still have a little bit of that residual energy. And
So I got to share this, and
yeah,
I love this. It's one of my favorite things.
what?
I love miserable people. I love
Okay,
them. I
that's new.
love them. I mean, they make my day. It just, I mean, it makes me so, I don't want to say happy, but I love them
Okay.
because I know that no matter how much I screw up my life, I will never be as miserable as they are.
Well, there is something to be said for that. True, true. It tells you, it sets the bar, right? It sets the bar. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Ron, oh my God.
You always hope they rub you the right way.
Yes, you do, Ron. Yes, you do.
Indeed.
Rub a dub dub.
Yeah. 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 So and I think that's a perspective that everybody can take, with all of the unhappy, angry, miserable people.
But
And I,
also, we have to check ourselves and say, okay, where was I unhappy and miserable today? What did
oh yeah.
where did
Mhm.
those thoughts enter my head before I had this interaction with this person? So,
Family show. Yeah, like the Family Guy, right? It's
like the
totally
family guy,
about
Ron.
yeah, yeah.
Ron's our family guy.
Yeah, there's nothing inappropriate here.
No, not at all. There's no layers of inappropriateness. We wouldn't go there, would we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No innuendos afoot here.
But
Yeah.
it's just interesting. The human psyche is so interesting because 92 to 95% of our mind is subconscious. So we only have conscious control of
Mhm,
2 to 5% or 3 to 5% of our conscious mind. So everything else we're doing is reactionary and
mhm.
based on those preconceived
Yep,
beliefs that we had in our formative years.
yep. And we
So
wonder why we're not moving forward, why we're stuck,
exactly.
why all of these things
Yeah.
continue to happen.
Why does this situation
Yeah.
continually happen? Because you have a belief in there somewhere that you need to unlock.
Mhm,
And life coaching can do that for you.
mm.
There's so many modalities that can help you take a look at that. And people say, well, if you're a life coach, how come you still experience well? Because we're all a work in progress, man.
Well, and we are always our worst clients. It is
Well,
I can spot things in other people without even thinking about it. And
exactly.
and all my garbage? I mean, don't look too close. Don't look too close. I'm
But the
working
other
on it
thing
like
is, it's hard to see the label from within the jar. So we don't
yep,
realize because it's reactionary.
yep.
So we don't realize that we're doing these things and saying these things. But until you start becoming very cognitive of
Mhm,
everything you do and say,
mhm.
and sometimes you still slip,
Yeah.
right? And
I
you'll be
still
reviewing your day and you're like, oh, why did I do that?
yeah. Yeah, well, and that's where a lot of the breakthroughs come, for me anyway, and I think probably for most other coaches is we don't spot it right off the bat when it's something that has been in our subconscious. It takes us time. Um,
What? Christy, you got to elaborate on that a little bit more. I'm not sure what.
I think this is a reference to parents. So two people had sex, and here I am
Oh, fighting
fighting
to survive.
to
Okay,
to
now
survive.
I.
Hmm.
Okay, now
Yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for all of us, right? Here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, I think when we spot those things, it's usually after the fact. We've already done
Yes.
all whatever it is, but it's a blessing. It may have been more than two.
There may have been
Oh
more than
man,
two people
Ron.
having sex. That's where I thought Christy
Oh,
was going. That was my initial thought. It was like, well, how many people were in this little orgy?
how many people? Oh, off the rails, off
Off
the
the
rails
rails.
for the
I love it.
morning.
I love it.
It was a
Life is
family show.
coloring
Maybe,
inside the lines is boring.
yeah. I mean, it probably still is a family show. It's just like Family Guy type of
Hey,
family
well,
show.
that's how families are created, right?
Yeah, it's true. I
Mhm,
mean, it's
mhm.
just natural. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and belief system of how we are raised and our BS. Yes, our
Yeah, our
BS.
belief systems,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yep, our bullshit and our belief systems.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
All
it's all
all of the
created
above.
in our formative years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important, and I think shameless self-promotion for both me and for Sharon. If you want support in working through, because we none of us can see inside the jar,
No,
um, but if you want someone else to help you see inside the jar, it's an essential thing for everyone to do, in my opinion.
yeah,
And do with that what you choose, because it is ultimately all of your individual choice. But um but it makes a big difference. Coaching is what really changed my life. And because I
yeah,
couldn't see inside the jar. I couldn't see all the
yeah.
things that were in the subconscious that I couldn't seem to figure out how to work through.
Well, it's funny because somebody will be doing something and you know someone and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that you remind me so much of your father or your mother," and their initial reaction is, "No."
Ooh, yeah.
No, like, and that's a trigger for a lot of people, right? And but because it's all subconscious, you don't even know.
Yeah. I can't even coach my own life.
That means you need some coaching, Ron. Hit us up. I'm sure you know where to find us.
You're coaching yourself right along, Ron. I mean, you got the best morning show. I mean,
Absolutely, you do.
I
Mhm.
mean, there's that for sure.
And you
Yeah.
just expanded it onto, what was that platform?
Oh, on Noster. I mean,
Noster.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never heard of
So,
that. Where did you dig that up? That's what I want to know.
well, so
Noster.
I've been on Noster for a couple of years now.
Really?
And yeah, yeah, and
That's
I
crazy.
love it. It's built on the blockchain. It's a, we should probably talk about. I think I talked about it, I don't know, a month or so ago or something. But
Okay.
we should
Clear.
probably bring it up and talk about it again. Yeah,
Okay.
I should get a little more educated because I'm not. I
Educated.
Yeah, edumercated. I will not say that I really know uh, anything more than I do, really. But anyway, with that being said, I think that it's probably hammer time.
Oh, I think it probably is.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get to the hammer time, maybe.
Edumercated. Yeah,
Edumacated.
edumercated. Yeah, yeah, yep. So hammers for compliance. And oh my gosh, what could that possibly be?
I'm not sure. With you, anything.
Yeah, well, that's thank you. Yes, indeed, indeed. Uh, Shame and judgment.
Could it be only hammers for compliance?
Yeah, well, they work, but most people most often they use
Mhm.
shame and judgment. Shame and judgment
Oh,
are
100%.
the biggest hammers that society uses. That friends, family, coworkers, yeah, all of it. I like the sound of hammers to make people comply. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the biggest hammers of all are shame and judgment,
Mhm.
and it is thrown out all over the place
Absolutely.
because it's the best way. If you shame someone, that is the best way to get them to immediately change whatever behavior it is that they're doing. Now, it doesn't work long term, of course, which is the problem with most all of these short term things.
Mhm.
Is um, is it you can get someone to change their behavior in the moment using shame or judgment, but over the long term they don't actually really change. They simply change that behavior. They don't change where that behavior is coming from.
Right.
So it's like trying to remind ourselves over and over and over and over again. Oh, I can't do this because I'm going to get shamed, which is, probably goes a lot back to the way that we evolved. And I mean, if you were shamed and judged, maybe you were shamed and judged right out of the group that you were in, and then you went out and by yourself and got eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. And
Yep.
that's nobody wants that.
Went out for a walk and became lunch.
Yeah.
Lunchtime.
Yes. Yes. So this contradicts religions. Hmm.
Well, some
I.
religions, yes. That's
Yeah.
some of them. Their stick is definitely shaming and judging. That's for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's boy. That one's loaded. You loaded that one right up there, Ron. We aren't really
Hammer
going to
time.
go. Yeah, we aren't really going to go much into that. But yeah, if you don't do the right things, then you will not end up in a place where you want to
That's right.
be.
That's right.
So, which there's probably some shame and judgment that's all built into that whole.
Probably.
Yeah, the
You really
wording.
like to. You really like to be politically correct.
Yeah, well, I try my best to not get canceled, and and so I don't touch on all of the things that that I could, because and also because I just stay out of that realm. I don't I don't get into any of the politics and religion and all of
Exactly.
the. It's just not my area, and it's not helpful because most people are shaming and judging about all of those things, and I know that even if they're shaming and judging me, it is not helpful, which is, I think, a key point for a lot of people to understand. Even if someone is shaming and judging you for the things that you do or you don't do or whatever it is, it does not actually help anything for you to turn around and shame them and judge them
Exactly.
for shaming and judging you. I mean,
Right.
and that's not really fair necessarily, but it is the truth. So Christy says, great book called Homo Sapiens that explains a bit of that and how it does kick you out of the tribe. Yeah. So does this mean that
Judges are wrong?
judges are wrong?
Sometimes wrong. Sometimes judges are wrong.
Yeah, I won't say that they're wrong, but they may have made an error in judgment.
Bing, bing.
Yeah. So long term, the big thing is that long term, shame and judgment doesn't work. And I know that, with anybody that has gotten into an argument with anybody else or a discussion, we'll say discussion because that's how it starts usually, and then it devolves into shame and judgment. And this doesn't change anybody's mind.
No,
They don't change.
resentment.
Yeah. Resentment and all of this, most of this leads to anger and hate.
Yeah.
And judging by this topic, this world is off.
Yes, off kilter.
Yeah, that could be an accurate,
off the rails, Ron, off the rails.
Yeah, that could be an accurate judgment of the situation.
Is it? Are you getting paid by the amount of times you say judgment?
Yes. Yes. Hopefully one penny at a time. One penny at a time. If I say it enough times.
Every time Kyle says judgment, everybody donate a penny.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can donate to the show on some or multiple different platforms. You can definitely donate to the show. Off the chain. Yes.
You are judging, Ron. I know you are.
Yeah. We know you're not judging, Ron. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. No judgment. No judgment
here.
And no judgment of your judgment.
I'm neutral.
Yeah, I think compassion and kindness and understanding, because we don't listen often, especially to someone else's perspective, with the intention of understanding and having compassion. Yeah, I have Kyle's head spinning. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm gonna bring my juggling stuff on. We'll do that. I'll set it up. I'll bring him on so that I can do, because that's what my mind is doing right now. It's juggling. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm having a conversation. I'm standing in front of a camera. Christy's commenting, Ron's commenting. I'm glad nobody else is commenting. Even though I want everybody else to comment, but that's a lot. I'm like juggling here. So yeah. Yeah, Sharon's probably better at it than I am.
No. Well, women typically are. Men are typically singularly focused, and women are like 50 things on their mind.
Is that a judgment?
No, that's common knowledge. It's common knowledge. You don't get 2 cents for that judgment word. For using judgment in that sense. Sorry, Kyle. No.
Stereotyping.
Yeah.
Stereotyping.
Yeah.
Next week. Yeah. So next week. Okay. I'll bring the juggling stuff next week.
Perfect.
And I'll juggle on camera. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to brush up a little bit before I come on camera and drop the balls. I'm not juggling clubs because that's too hard in this space. I can't do that. But yeah. Yeah, I think the shame and judgment it's a big thing for us to all recognize when when we are either being shamed and judged by others, or we are doing that to them.
Right.
And because what all of the things that we want to change in the world, we don't actually end up really changing them with shame and judgment.
No, it's counterproductive.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it just breeds resentment and anger and hatred. And that's really a lot of what is going on right now. There's a lot of people that are shaming and judging right now on all sides of all kinds of things. And what it does is then just brings up more resentment and anger. Yeah.
You're right, Ron. It is a form of bullying. Yeah.
Yep. And it works. We look at, if we look at corporate America, or any of the other places that you want to look at, they use shame and judgment because they can, kind of, because they come from a place of power. And it's the same way that parents do, as well. And I'm not throwing shame or judgment on the parents. I totally get it. It's not like I haven't been there too.
It's pre-programmed. We were conditioned from birth. Yeah.
But
reactionary.
It seems like it works because they use it, and it works because they are in a it's taught, because they're coming from a place of power. So this works when I shame and judge, my child, my employee, whatever it is, then they comply. And so it worked. Look, I mean, that actually worked. And this happened in the way that I wanted it to, and they changed the behavior. But they didn't actually change their behavior.
They changed their behavior in front of you.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Because of the shame and the judgment. So
once you're not in their presence, if you shamed and judged them, then they're just going to do what they want anyways.
Yeah. So going for understanding and having a conversation. Why is it that you believe that way? Or why is it that you do whatever it is that you do? Most people never watch Pete's Dragon as kids, and it shows. Oh, yes.
That's a great little show for kids.
Yeah.
Good point, Christy.
I mean, for adults too. I love Pete's Dragon.
When my kids were little, I loved watching some of those shows with them because, even as an adult, you get something different out of it.
Yeah. There's some shows that we should not go back and watch as adults because it will ruin the whole memory. But there are some, like Pete's Dragon, that you can go back and watch as an adult, and it does not ruin that memory.
They say you can't go back, but you can go back to Pete's Dragon.
Yes, that's definitely accurate. So anyway, that is the show today, and I highly encourage everyone to pay attention to your BS and the shame and judgment.
Perception is projection, people.
Yeah. There's room for everyone in this world. It's very true. Even all the toxic people, they can just be in the other part of the room that we don't have to.
Like you say, just have compassion for them. Because they're very unhappy. Yeah. Like, they're clearly unhappy people. And it's sad. It's sad to live in blame, shame, fear, guilt, and
Yep. Well, and the biggest thing too is the compassion for ourselves. Because if we have the compassion for ourselves in all of the times when we shame and judge other people, then we can give the compassion to other people. Yeah. Elliot. Yes. So anyway, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for following, subscribing, and supporting the show and all of the wonderful things. Tomorrow it's Ron and Luana.
Got a great show for you tomorrow, Ron and Luana. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And thank you, Sharon, for being here and all of the good stuff. So thanks everybody.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
Well, you'll see other people the rest of this week, but Kyle and I will see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see all of you. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.